Before working with Laurie-Ann, I was completely overwhelmed. I knew I wanted to start speaking, but every time I sat down, it was the pitching and the idea generation and where to speak and who to talk to and what to say. And it was too much. So one day I realized I really just needed to get clarity and start with what I wanted to speak about and who I wanted to speak to. And I knew that that would really narrow down the process of pitching and putting myself out there. I hired Laurie-Ann for a consult and wow. I have three overarching angles now that I can pitch to different groups depending on their needs and my goals. So it saved me a whole bunch of time and mental anguish. And I don't worry about coming up with hundreds of different ideas for hundreds of different organizations. It's just the three main ideas, super clear, super simple. And the best part is I felt like a total rock star who absolutely should be on stages. So if you're thinking about hiring Laurie-Ann, whether for a consult or some ongoing coaching and mentoring, what are you even waiting for? Why are you still listening to this? Just go book a call. Just do it. You'll thank me.
Welcome to Be in Demand. If you're a coach, a consultant, or a service provider tired of feeling invisible, well, you're in the right place. I'm Laurie-Ann Murabito, your host and guide here to show you how to harness the power of speaking opportunities to amplify your business, position you as the go-to expert, and turn your expertise into income. Sound good? Well, let's dive into today's episode. Today, we are going to be talking about how to get started. I realize that there are a lot of new listeners. The number of followers that I have for the show has gone up, and mostly probably because of the ad that I was running over on Overcast. So hello, all of my Overcast listeners. Thank you for tuning in. I just finished speaking, and one of the most common questions that I got was, how do I get started? I want to be speaking. I'm doing a little bit of speaking, but I'm not doing as much as I would like to be. So how do I either get started or keep the ball rolling? So that's what we're going to be focusing in on today. So let's get you started. I want you to pull out a piece of paper. And this is exactly what I tell my clients to do, is to make a list of all the different places that you attend meetings or conferences. So it could be in person and it can also be virtual. So think of the different Facebook groups that you are a member of, chamber events, associations, professional trade groups, maybe for your occupation, for your specialty, for your business, the industry that you're in. There are 225,000 professional trade and associations, and they all have yearly conference, if not twice a year conferences. They have chapters in each state and also around the globe. And they have meetings in those chapters once a month at least. And you need to really dive in and find out, are these in person? Are these virtual? Because if you belong to a particular group that might be in person in your area, but in other parts of the globe or other parts of your country, they might be meeting virtually. These are things that you just kind of need to dive in and research. So once you've made that list, I want you to go through that list and start checking off, do they have speakers? Have you ever seen them bring in speakers, guest speakers, speakers within the organization, within the association? Are these fellow members? Let's start making a list and just check off if you've seen other speakers. Just check that off because those are the places that you are going to target first. And what I mean by target is that if you're already a member of these associations, of these groups, it's more likely that you can get booked to speak. But we need to find out how they find their speakers, how they book their speakers, what information they need from you. So that's what we're going to be finding out. We're going to use my open the door to the conversation policy. So once you've made this list and you see all the different check marks, and just because there isn't a check mark next to one of those groups does not mean that they don't have speakers or that they haven't considered having speakers, because maybe you could be the first. So from those check marks, I want you to approach them. Now, that might be waiting for the next meeting, waiting for the next in-person networking event. When you're there, towards the end, because, people are a little busy getting the meeting running. So towards the end, approach whomever that you think is somebody in the leadership team of the group. And this is the advice for an in-person event. So you want to approach them and just tell them like, hey, I've been a member here for X amount of years. I was wondering what the process is for our group finding and booking speakers. They will tell you. They will tell you that, oh, we do this month to month. Oh, at the end of the year, we decide and get our speaker lineup for the entire year. We meet quarterly and determine what the next quarter of speakers is going to be. We meet once a year to put our conference together. So you will find out that information, but not until you actually, again, open the door to having the conversation. You're not saying, book me, I want to be the next month's speaker, because your topic may not be in alignment with what they already know that other members want or need and want to learn more about. So always be patient. You just never know. One of my clients is a storyteller, a business storyteller, and she wanted to speak on the marketing cruise. And she pitched them. 1 year, crickets. The second year, crickets. Third year, crickets. Fourth year, she got an email saying, we'd like you to speak at the cruise. Dream come true. So what happened the other years? Probably storytelling wasn't a high priority. They wanted something else. Maybe they had a theme. You just never know. Like right now, there's a lot of talk and a lot of workshops and conferences around AI. Well, that's going to be a higher priority. I pitched for a conference that's in early 2025 and didn't get picked, and that's okay. Me talking about speaking at this event probably wasn't a high priority. However, what I've noticed, because there was a second call for speakers, they're looking for people to talk about YouTube and repurposing and using AI tools. So that's their priority this coming year. But you just never know the following year. So never give up hope. Just because somebody says no right now or doesn't even answer you doesn't mean your topic won't be needed in the future. So during these open the door conversations, you'll find out also if the person that you approach may not be the responsible person. They'll tell you, oh, that's the president's job. Oh, that's head of education. That's their job. They're responsible for finding the speakers. Do you know who they are? Do you know how to contact them? Let me introduce you. So that is how to start with your warm market. When you're done speaking, you just want to ask them like, hey, who else do you know that would benefit from learning this topic? Podcast host, no podcast host. Meeting planners, no meeting planners. It's a relationship business. The other thing about getting started is to check out your social bios and also your website. Does it say that you're a speaker? Or are you just hoping that people telepathically know that they can book you as a speaker? Okay, that was a little bit of sarcasm. I am from the Boston area. But seriously, if you don't have speaker in your bio, why is somebody going to take you seriously that you are a speaker? So I want to make sure that you head over to all of your social media and check that it says that you are a speaker. On your website, it should say speaker. You shouldn't make it hard for somebody to find on your About Me that you actually do some speaking. I want to see a speaker tab on your website. And I did an entire episode on this. And that is episode 197, 7 Essentials Your Website Must Have to Get Booked to Speak. So check out that episode as well. And it's got some other tips about what you might want to put on your website. And keep in mind, if you're just starting out and you don't have everything that I'm talking about, you just build it up as you're going along. Take every opportunity that you're speaking. And remember, speaking needs to be redefined. I've done other episodes on that. Remember that as you're getting started, if you're new, you're going to build up your speaker assets as you're going along. Speaking really does need to be redefined, and stages need to be redefined as well. So it's not just speaking on a physical stage or speaking on Zoom. There are so many other different forms of speaking. I used to be a co-host of a live stream show, And it was every Thursday afternoon. That's a form of speaking. Doesn't mean that everybody who was in the audience watched it live. They actually watched the replay when it was convenient for them. I just want you to think outside the box when it comes to speaking. And I've done other episodes on this as well. So I hope that this has given you some ideas on how to get started. And if you've done some speaking, here's how to reignite your passion for speaking and also some bookings on your calendar for the next year is to reach out to everybody that you have spoken for and just reconnect with them. I can't believe that it's been 5 years since I spoke at your conference. And if you can name the conference, that would be fabulous. Let's reconnect. And it's during those connection calls that you can share with them, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm speaking on now. Here's some new speeches or presentations or workshops that I have. Would that be of any interest to you? Because you just never know. The person who booked you may not still be at the same company or the same association. They might have moved on, or they might be able to refer you to the right people. They already know you, like you, and trust you because they've worked with you before in the past. They've seen you speak, they've seen you perform, and they know what the audience feedback was. So reconnect with those people from the past. One of the things that I've noticed from doing some of the speaker breakthrough sessions with experienced speakers is they feel like, oh, I already spoke for them. And okay, that's done. Let's move on and try to find somebody else instead of trying to reconnect with those connections and speaking for them again. Just an idea for you to reconsider. So I hope that you found this helpful. I would love to continue this conversation. Feel free to DM me or send me an email. I answer all of my own emails and DMs. I would love to know who you're reaching out to. Are you just getting started? Even if you want to know how to get started, I have lots of different resources that I would love to share with you. As a matter of fact, a brand new resource that I recently created, my Be in Demand new listener guide. And you can get that at speakandstandout.com/guide. And I will have that link down below. But this is a guide that I recently created of my most popular downloaded episodes. There's over 260 episodes as of today. And I want to help you, especially if you're a new listener. You might not want to start at episode 1, but if you do, fantastic. Thank you very much. But here's a guide that will at least get you started, especially if you want to start speaking now, because, we're entering into the holiday season, but guess what? Meeting planners don't take the holidays off. They are busy working on the conferences and events that are going to be happening in the springtime, in the early part of the new year. So until next time, I want you to be in demand, but also go download that guide, the new listener guide. Again, that is at speakandstandout.com/guide. Catch you next time. Are you tired of hearing crickets on social media? Wondering where to get seen by the right people? Or frustrated with the growth of your business? Then the Speaker Breakthrough Session is just for you. During this free 20-minute discovery call, I'll help you recognize where you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. You'll walk away with tips and a strategy to leverage speaking opportunities to get positioned as the expert, visible to the right people, and monetize your expertise. Book your call at speakandstandout.com/SBS for Speaker Breakthrough Session.